Good morning. It is September 5th, 2022. I'm sitting in my office, and it occurred to me that there are a lot of people may have a lot of questions about how to start investing. I can show you what I've done. I've lived by the keep it simple, stupid mantra in my life in investing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what I've started with, what I have, and we can just keep moving. If this works out and y'all want to keep learning how to do this, I'll keep going. I'm going to start with two today. I'm going to make pretty short videos, and I'm going to keep it as simple as possible because this is how I do it. And this is as complicated as I have made it in my investing life, and it's made me a pretty substantial sum of money. So what I'll do is I'm going to start with the oldest mutual fund that I can find, which is a Massachusetts Investor Trust Fund. The ticker symbol is MITTX. Believe it or not, this fund has been around since 1924, so almost 98 years. And since then, their lifetime average, so their average rate of return since their inception in 1924, they have averaged 9.21%. And just so we're clear, that is as of June 30th, the end of the second quarter of 2022. So what we can do real quick on that one is I'll show you with my handy little Excel spreadsheet. If you were to have invested $1,000 a year for the last 98 years, where you would be. That's the other thing that's important to know, is to invest in this particular fund. If it's open to new investors, sometimes they're not. I did not check to see if that was the case. But the minimum investment contribution is $1,000 to start. So if you would like to invest, have $1,000 and want to invest in something, it wouldn't be a bad one to pick. It averages 9.21% a year. So let's take a look at this. So investing $1,000 a year for 10 years at an average rate of return of 9.21%. After 10 years, you wind up with $16,759.42, which in the 10-year run, that's not bad. They've basically just given you $6,700, and all you had to do was give them some money. And what's neat about it is you don't generally lose your investment. It can happen. It will go down. It will go up. There will be years where it's way higher than 9%. There's going to be years where it's lower. 2022 is kind of a rough one. We've got some stinkers this year. But again, the way I pick my funds is it got to be double digits generally. I have not personally invested in this MITTX, Massachusetts Investor Trust Fund. But over 98 years, they have averaged 9.21%. So if you were to live to 200 years old and had 98 years to be able to invest, at 98 years old, this fund at $1,000 for 98 years, you could have $66,625,000, which is an outrageous sum given the fact that you've only put in $98,000. It's pretty impressive. If only we lived that long. So, having said that, this is one that is not a bad pick if you've got lots of time to spend. I generally don't pick a fund that's younger than 10 years old. I have my little rules and own parameters that I run with. If it's double-digit returns and over 10 years old, I will pick that fund if I have the available funds to do it. This next one, I do personally invest in this one. This is a Vanguard mid-cap index, which I'll be totally honest with you, I don't really care. Blue chips, large cap, mid cap, small cap, technology fund. If it's doing good and it has a lot of good stocks within these mutual funds and they're doing what they're supposed to, they're making money. And that's what ultimately all I'm getting at and all I'm shooting for is having money for the future so my wife and I can retire and not have to be a burden on our children financially. So this one I do have in my Roth IRA, and point of fact, it is an available fund in my 401k as well. I do not have it in that, just because I have it in my Roth IRA. But this one, the ticker symbol is VIMAX, and the minimum for that one is $3,000 if you're not doing it in a mutual fund, if you're not doing it in an IRA or a 401k, and you're just going to do it in a brokerage account. The minimum investment for that is $3,000. So we can check this one real quick. This one, the inception is November of 2001. So this one is only 21 years old, almost. So having said that, when I first made my list a couple of months ago, this fund was averaging 10.69, but that was based on April's numbers. As of August 31st, like I said, we've had some stinkers. We have gone down a little bit. So from 4 months ago, we were at 10.69, and as of August 31st, 5 days ago, it has dropped down to 9.8% of a lifetime average. So since its inception for 21 years, they have averaged 9.8. Again, not a bad one to pick. This one was on my list. Today, I probably wouldn't pick it, but I would keep it. So I'm going to keep it, even though it's below my double-digit averages. And seriously, little bit of research, you can find tons of mutual funds that are over 10 years old that have double-digit returns since their inception. That's what I have. I've got a good list here. I've got my other list that I pick from on this other sheet here, and I know I'm not showing it to you, but we've got a lot to get through because there's a ton of mutual funds. So, having said that, let's say that we started with the Vanguard Mid Cap Index Fund, an initial investment of $3,000 in 2001, and kept contributing $3,000 every year until the 21st year, which would be 2022. That would be contributing $180,000. No, that's not right. That would be contributing $21,000, and you'd have a return, a total dollar bill investment now of $205,800 and change. So $21,000 investment up to $200,000 is a pretty good deal, especially if you spread that out over the 21 years. But because we're all shooting for retirement, I am not quite close to retirement age yet, but I have been at this for a little over 15 years. I wish I'd been a little smarter and started a few years earlier than I did, because I'd be just that much further along. So let's say our average working life is 30 years and the investment that we have is running for 30 years. We'll take the same one and run it all the way down to a 30-year, which means $3,000 a year for 30 years. You have contributed $90,000, and it gives you at the end $521,738, which is pretty impressive. That means that you've only put in 17.25% of the total dollars you have after 30 years. That's a pretty good deal if you ask me. $90,000 and you get $521,000 at the end of it is a pretty good deal. So this is pretty much all I want to do. These quick little videos, couple minutes long, nothing super fancy, but this is really how complicated investing should be to start out. I'm hoping that we can get these going, and I hope we get a little bit of interest. It would be nice if we did. I'm going to make them for a while with or without any interest, but this has been the first time I've done this, and I really hope that some of y'all find some worth in what I'm doing. I'm not going to get into all the nitty gritty of it. It's not that important to start out. Once you get a little more money in, and if you want to get more complicated, you are more than welcome to do that. It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it. I just hope the best for everybody, and believe it or not, I do want people to succeed financially, and it is not complicated. To be totally honest with you, I barely made it out of high school. I'm really not that smart, but this is just basic math that nobody ever teaches you in school. You don't get to learn how to pick mutual funds or stocks or bonds or any of that, any of those investment tools. They don't teach you how to do any of that fun stuff to set yourself up for a lifetime of money. And yes, you got to work all the time. You got to work until you can't. But if you set yourself up financially early on, man, you can get a lot further along than a lot of people in the world. So my hope is this at least gets you started and gets you moving forward in your investment lifetime. I do hope you take a look at it. I hope it works out for you. Feel free to leave any comments you want. I will figure out how y'all can do that on this page. I hope we get to keep doing this for a long time. This is fun. This is interesting to me. Any questions you have, let me know. I'll answer as many as I can. I'll answer all that I can. If I don't know the answer, I will help point you in the right direction. But again, this is just to really start a basic understanding of it and to get you started. I want people to start doing it because I know that my family that I came from, we were so broke we couldn't rub two nickels together. So I would like to help others not live that life. So thanks for joining me. I hope everything works out great for you in the long run. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.